stumbling into the hallway, falling into the hall table, knocking everything off, clutching his side, his legs seemingly losing function. Blue struggled to get out of the chemical lab. He busted through a side door into the alley, smashing into a dumpster. Rain fell. His mouth agape, he struggled for air. He fell into the mud, struggling to rise. "Knight, help!" he cried into his busted receiver. Kathy suddenly sprinted around the corner. "Adam!" Blue fell, and Kathy caught him. He vomited. "Shadow, I found him!" Night Shadow rushed into the alley. Adam laid on a table in the Layer's medical room, bandaged and barely awake. "The chemicals you were exposed to, they've done something to you. You're sick. Very sick." Adam, in his jumpsuit, pale face, except for the bruises and cuts, stared, then dropped his head back against the table as the laser scanned him. "I could have told you that," he said, out of breath, attempting to swallow. "Now that the boy is out of the picture, it's time to finally complete the plan." Several men stared at the head seat and racks in it. "Prepare the messages to be sent to the press as soon as possible. Time them exactly. I want them to see what happens when heroes meddle in the private affairs of this country." "Yes, sir." "And prepare the leak for the girl. Do you remember why this is so important?" "Yes, sir. With Blue dead, she will come, and we will be able to take her out, no problem. And her costume and his mask will be all the evidence we need for the media, and her physical inaptitude will be much easier to deal with. Her tech savviness will be to blame, and we can unveil her conspiracies upon interrogation. Then, with your political connections, you can push for laws against heroes. And have nothing standing in my way of building my energy empire." "What about the Eastern and Middle Eastern connections and the fissionable materials, sir?" "Is my strike team ready?" "Yes, sir. The best mercenaries we can afford." "Good. Tell them no witnesses. Make sure it looks religious." "Yes, sir." Adam? Night Shadow came around the corner from the infirmary. "Adam is resting. What is it, Kathy?" "I just got a huge hit on a lot of my bugs." "Like what?" "Lots of movement. Way too much. When you piece these audio clips of comm traffic together and these emails just sent and following the code algorithm that I figured out all of his goons were using in the last month or so, just apply it here and you have really bad news." Night Shadow looked at the screen and squinted in confusion, and then his eyes grew wide in growing alarm. "They are going to blow up the power plant and try to blame terrorists and claim all of the insurance?" "A lot of people could get hurt if their plans we saw for that modified plasma gasifier goes up. Even radiation," Kathy added. "The fissionable material," Shadow mused. "Exactly. I'm not sure how it's involved otherwise, but—" "Audio cue confirmed. Hidden file extraction in process." The computer suddenly spoke. "What?" "Kathy, have we been hacked?" "No, What is this?" Kathy stared at the contents of a file opening automatically. "It's blueprints and plans and more?" They both stared at the screen intently. "Click that," Shadow suggested on a document titled, "How He Will Do It." They both read and stared at the document with growing horror. "He's going to blow up the power plant with the fissionable material he was using to jumpstart his gasifier off the grid," Kathy exclaimed. "He was using a small nuclear reactor to also amplify the power output and skew the results he reported and make it look like its gasifier is 1,000% more efficient." "And just to cover up any radiation readings as fusion? Does he believe anyone will actually buy that he's generating that kind of heat?
It's amazing what people will believe, Kathy.
Don't I know it?
And it says here the plant is designed to collapse so as to bury itself, which should mitigate any claims of nuclear disaster or radiation damage to the local area, so it won't come back to bite him. But the surface explosion will be quite large. Oh dear. They plan on splitting some atoms to vaporize much of the evidence.
This is very bad. Kathy put her hands to her face to stare in horror at the screen in front of her.
Listen to this last bit. And I wonder how long it will take those mind slugs to figure it all out. Oh well, if they don't, I'll just have to do it by myself, like always. I have plenty of time. Who was this written by?
Kathy clicked and typed and suddenly brought up an author's name. The Shadow. Kathy read.
Adam must have deduced and investigated all of this in his nightmares, and spare time when the suit was taking over. It amplified his mind, and even allowed him to access places he normally couldn't. Look here, beaten confessions from eyewitnesses and construction crew. Construction crew saved from execution in back alleyways. Saved from the Ace Gang. Papers and files and documents and paper trails on non-disclosure agreements, bank transfers, discrete funds off the books, another set of books altogether from various shell corporations. Stolen, photocopied, and photos. This is years of work in a short period of time. What on earth?
Shadow leaned back.
The boy was busier than we thought. Than even he knew.
But why didn't he warn us after the suit was off? Was he still investigating?
He must have forgotten after the suit wasn't affecting him anymore. Or the ripping of it from his cellular and neural structure must have caused him to forget. Or the suit made him forget when Ulfric's failsafe protocol and the syringe activated to prevent permanent mind alteration upon a failed end product.
Kathy looked at the screen, and then the infirmary with concern and sadness.
Click additional notes,
he then said. She did, and they read.
All of this must be a cover for some form of political gain, perhaps against an enemy. It seems the bigger plan with the funds may be to start up an empire with the energy resources he would have had from the insurance payout as well as the political backing of green energy proponents in the political arena and society. By using their emotive loyalty against them, he can blame the incident on anyone he chooses or kidnaps, and have all the underworld blackmail support he would need to get away with any litigation or scrutiny against him.
They sat back, stunned to the core.
Kathy, has Harax filed any more patents, or made any press conferences or announcements, or done anything to signify of any of this being real?
Yes. Here in the traffic that just came through, a draft for editing was just sent on an unencrypted email where one of my virus bugs is scanning a computer network blue infected for me in the labs. They read with increasing fear. A press conference. The unveiling of the new, completely green, efficient waste-vanishing power grid.
Then there is no time. We have to go in. I'll do what I can to alert people from my end, if they even believe it. You have to go in there, into the new facility, and find a way to stop the detonation process. We can't let this happen, Kathy. If even one person gets hurt...
Night Shadow couldn't finish it. Then it's a crime. But if the Shadow was right, then... Kathy trailed off.
He will be all-powerful in the money and fame arenas in a matter of months, and no office will be denied him. Nearly unlimited influence, wealth, and power, and a monopoly on the market that people will freely give him, and all a lie, with no one allowed to challenge him.
I'll suit up.
Kathy ran off. Take all the equipment you need. Take atoms. I don't care. Whatever it takes. Power down that plant and stop them. And take his bike. I want you there ASAP.
Kathy pulled on her mask, draped and attached her cape, grabbed all sorts of tools off the racks, attached Blue's belt over her chest as a bandolier, and roared the bike to life. She tested the throttle, then let the bike carry her down the tunnel as Night Shadow looked on with some anxiety, and then returned his gaze to the infirmary.